Hiya, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, then welcome. It's lovely to have you. And if you're already existing, then hello, welcome back. So today I'm bringing you a candle making video. So grab yourself a nice hot drink, Christmassy one, Christmas jumper on. Get in the Christmassy spirit. We're gonna make these, now these can be made for Christmas gifts. These can be made homemade. I'm gonna show you where I bought my stuff from and other stuff that you can use. Sorry, I'm trying to move the camera. And yeah, so we're going to get into the video. This was going to be a handmade gifts video, like to make some. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the candle video today because I didn't really realise how long some of the parts of the candle making would be to try and show you on the camera. So this video is candle making. And then what I'm going to do is on, today's Tuesday, not tomorrow, Wednesday. On Thursday, I've bought loads of Poundland stuff. So I'm going to bring the Poundland haul tomorrow. On the Wednesday, and on the Thursday we're going to do a video where this is really budget friendly. So I've literally spent money in a pound shop, everything's £1, and what I'm going to do is we're going to make those gifts look like something from a farm shop, somewhere where you could buy from a boutique or Harrods, make them look really expensive, with like most gifts being put together costing £3 to make. So that's what we're going to bring on Thursday. So kind of like a homemade thing, but not. It's really cheap presents, making them look expensive. So you don't have to break the bank at Christmas. So to get started on the Christmas candle making, I started making candles yesterday. If you follow me on my Instagram, that's Rosie Henshaw Home, you would have seen on my stories. I bought this oven dish from Bury St Edmund Christmas Market. I thought it was Emma Bridgewater because it's got like the Made with Love written on the side of it. But I filled this yesterday with my candle and I'm absolutely in love with it. And I put 3 wicks in this. And I made this with soy wax. Now it took a couple of boils to have to get this ready. But what I bought is this. Now I got this off of Amazon. Now this is soy pillar wax pellets. That comes already little pellets that you can pour into a double boiler. I'll explain in a minute, I'll be able to show you. And it melts down, ready to pour into your container. Now I got that off Amazon, 2 kilograms. I paid £11 for that, I think. There was a £7 one, £11 one. I can't remember if that was the 11 for the 2 kilogram. I got that with free delivery. I also, for £2.99, got 100 wicks. Now I got long ones and short ones. They come with the little metal secure bits on the bottom. And it also comes with these. Now the little gluey tabs that you stick at the bottom of the candle to fix these metal parts too, so the wick stays still in there. And it also comes with this little like cup adjuster that you can put the wick through. And I got them on Amazon. But what I also got was a double boiler. Now you don't need to buy a double boiler if you don't have one. If you ever melted chocolate where you have a saucepan with hot water inside and then you put like a metal tray or a little bowl or a glass bowl, it has to be glass that you can use in the heat. So something that is like thermally glass. I don't know if it's like thermal glass where you can put it in the microwave and things like that. You could even use one of these jugs. The glass ones, I don't know what they call them, like Pyrex. Put it inside boiling water, let it come to a simmer, then let it slightly cool, and put your wax in there and it will melt, and just slowly stir it. You can make a double boiler. As for containers, I'm going to be filling one of my old wax candle containers that I've washed out, made sure it's clean. It was one of the ones I had for autumn, but you can use anything. These are just random things I picked up from the house. So like really quirky, like biscuit jar, you could use and have this in a kitchen, make this for somebody, make it cookie scented. I've got little Cath Kidston bowls, so I can make one in a little bowl to make in my kitchen. You could use teacups to make them, glue the little teacup on the saucer if you'd like to make it really thick still. Make a little candle in there for somebody that loves teacups. This is just a little pot that I got cheap at a Next. You get loads of these, you could use that as a candle. And also I'm going to be filling this up today. So this is like a little shallow bowly plate thing from Home Bargains, a Star. And I'm going to be using this. I'm going to go grab my wax because it's on the hob. Don't do that, don't not watch it, but I'm going to go and grab it. Because obviously I don't have an oven in my dining room. I'm going to be really random. This is a really random video. I'm going to grab you, take you into my kitchen so you can see what's kind of going on with the boiling, and hopefully I don't end the video. Well, sorry for making you dizzy. So what's currently going on is this. I've got my little saucepan simmering up. I've got this double boiler. You can get one of these because it hooks over the edge, so it stops it getting submerged in the water. But you could also use the glass bowl. I've only recently purchased this. I used to always just use the glass jug. And then you put your wax pellets into this and you just try and break it down and stir it. The more you stir it, the quicker it will melt. But to be completely honest, it's kind of good that they get the pellets because they're little and they help them melt quicker, but they do kind of, on a hot heat, stick together first before they start to melt. So I'm just gonna, looks a bit like melted butter. But don't feel like you have to go out and spend loads of money on wax pellets, because you can just go into the pound shop and buy pillar candles, chop it up into little chunks and use that wax. You don't have to use wax from a store. I normally, with my leftover candle wax that's in jars, you know, like the little tiny bits you get left over. I'm setting the gas off now. I'm just going to stir it. And you just have it on a simmer. Try not to have it too hot. I know I've got this on a boil, but I've got quite a lot of wax in here. This burner that I've got holds 600 millilitres of liquids. So I can use this for chocolate fondue. I will just use this strictly for wax because I never feel like I can wash the complete amount out. And as you can see, it's just waxing down. Now, once this wax is completely melted, this would be the stage where you would be able to add your essential oils. Now, you can buy essential oils online. They do them on Amazon. Some are starting from £1, and you can add that to make your candle scented. You could also add candle wax dye. Now, you can buy the coloured pellets. They're really expensive, I find. I think it's better to just buy the clear wax. My wax isn't pure white, mine's off-white. I quite like that, not creamy, not pure white, that in-between colour, that ivory kind of colour. And you can also get the colour drops if you want your candles red or pink or blue, any colour that you like. They sell them online. On Amazon they do them. To be honest, I know Holland & Barrett, they're quite a good shop. If you're not really an online shopper, I know Holland & Barrett are really good for essential oils. As you can see, the last bit of wax is melting down. And we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm going to try and stand you up here without turning the video off. You're there. We've got Bertie's advent calendar in the background. An open back door for Bertie to go out. Not the greatest scenery behind, but I'm just going to keep stirring. And we're nearly there. We're nearly there. I'm not going to make my candles scented today because I like sometimes making a candle that looks so pretty that I don't burn it. So then sometimes there's no point wasting your essential oils in it. I'm going to keep them this colour. Here we go. We are ready to go. So I'm going to put my spoon on a bit of kitchen roll so it doesn't get any wax or anything on anywhere. We're going to take you and me. I'm going to take a tea towel in as well, a little Christmas tea towel, to put on the bottom of the saucepan so that when we get into the dining room, oh, tricky. Be careful, Bert. I've got all like junk everywhere. I have to excuse my mess. Right, so I'm just going to put a tea towel down because I don't want to burn my table. It's full of boiling hot water. We're back in the game. 8 minutes in, and all you've been seeing is over a boiling hot pot. So now what we're left with is our boiling hot wax in our little container. I would suggest maybe doing this while the kids are at school, quite hot, or you do the pouring in the kitchen or whatever. Now, I'm not going to add any scents, but as it is Christmas, the one star thing that I'm going to use, I'm going to add some of these dry slices of orange. You can use cinnamon, you can use a piece of Christmas tree, foliage, rose petals, anything that you kind of like that's kind of dried. I wouldn't use faux in case it's flammable. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to get some of my little sticky pieces. I'm going to turn this into a 2-wick. Now you've got to kind of be reasonable with how many wicks you're going to put in this, because mine took 3 wicks and I had to sort of spread them out evenly so that the wax is going to be burnt and distributed quite equally. Sorry, I'm like dropping everything now. So I'm going to make this a 2-wick because it's not that large. So I'm going to try and space these out quite nicely apart. Probably have them like about there, so it's going to kind of evenly burn. I think 3 wicks might be a bit too much. And I'm not going to waste my large long wicks because they will be kind of good for an ideal for this big burner. So I'm going to use the smaller ones. I will have to cut these down after. Now, a lot of people make sometimes these videos a little bit faffy. You can get special things to hold these with and sellotape them on, but they're quite rigid if they're wax. If they're the plain cotton, then no, you will have to put a bamboo stick across this and sort of to keep them up straight so they don't fall into the wax. But they're relatively okay. Now my wax is staying there, still boiling hot, it's still sat in the water. I've not took it out. And I'm just going to add a few of these orange slices to the bottom of my candle. What are you doing, Roxy? This one is like broken in half. That's kind of perfect. So I'm going to need, I think, a half one. No, that don't look too great. Put a whole one in there. And kind of looks like something like this. But once the wax is poured, it's going to look really, really sweet. So what I'm going to do is I'm then just going to, mind you don't get it on the wick, slowly pour my wax into the dish, and then, right, put it to the side. Now I'm going to rest this down, and now what I'm going to do is go and get the bamboo sticks, because it actually has one with the wicks. Now, if you don't have skewers or bamboo sticks or chopsticks or a stick out from the garden to do this with, you can just get a piece of sellotape, put it across from either side. But what I'm going to do is this. So you don't, what I was saying was you don't need to necessarily tie these. Let me try and put that down a bit so you can see. Oh, sorry. So I'm just going to put my candle on here and hope for the best. Now this is boiling hot, it is still liquid. Now you could just put a piece of sellotape from one side to the other to rest these wicks upon. I'm going to just put a bamboo stick that side and a bamboo stick that side to keep them from going in the wax basically, because these are going to have to be cut down anyway. I say you don't need this, some people are like well over the top with it and then all of a sudden mine's falling over. And they never fall over, so I don't know what's happened. Perhaps I've never left it sat in the water for that long. Normally once I've got it to a boiled point, I would then put it straight in there, do it in really small pieces. So perhaps it's to do with the heat, I'm not sure. That one's like, you know what, I'm not going over the direction that you want me to go in. Go away. All right, that's it, I'll lean them against each other. Right, and they're gonna stay up. And I'm gonna get the camera so you can see, ready for the dizzy moment. And the wax is filled in there and that will go clear, and all you will see is a tiny bit of the orange, and as you start to burn it down you'll get that, and you will also get a slight scent of orange. Ooh. Make sure I don't drop you again. So I'm gonna put this little bad boy to one side. Very carefully, making sure I don't drop it. But that's just gonna look really lovely on my Christmas table when everyone's having dinner. And then what I'll do is once that wax, now you may be tempted to stick that straight in the fridge and be like, right, so it'll just set really quickly. You may crack the actual porcelain because it's going from straight from hot to cold or cold to hot. So I would definitely recommend leaving that and just letting it to, it will take a little while, it might even take an hour, 2 hours, but just leave it to dry as it is. This huge one, and I mean huge candle, took me, I would say about 2 hours. 2 hours for this to completely set. So, and I can't wait to burn that over the Christmas days. Let's have a little sip of my tea, I reckon that's cooled down now. For the palaver of being in the kitchen. These are such nice ideas to give to anybody. And the thing is as well, yes, £11 for a big 2 kilogram bag. That 2 kilogram bag, if you made candles like the one I've just made, like shallow ones, or you made, I would say, you know, like the kind of normal size candles, I can't really think. So even if you filled like this tiny, like this is a small bowl, very similar to a mug size, you could fill up a mug. you are going to get so many out of that 2 kilogram. So if you're thinking of making candles for gifts for everybody over Christmas, it's actually going to be your outlay for the items that you're actually going to put them in. Now, if you are quite savvy and you go around the charity shops, there's no reason why you can't pick up lovely little jars. In Wilkinson's, they sell little jam jars, like clean ones. You could even use ones that you've got from the kitchen to clean them out, make sure they're clean. But jam jars, nice bit of fabric over the top of them with twine, tied them up, put a little label on the front of them, what scent they are, make homemade candles. And if I got that under the Christmas tree for Christmas, I would be absolutely chuffed. I think they're such nice handmade gifts to make candles. I like soy rather than, is it called paraffin wax? I'm not sure. I always click on soy usually because I find they leave a cleaner burn. When I say that, I mean when they burn, I find they don't really go black. You don't really get the black waxy sort of look. And also as well is it sort of just goes all by itself. I find I have to really scrape out some candles to get the rest of it out, to clean the jar out, to use it. But with soy, you kind of end up with nothing. It's got kind of like a really smooth, greasy type feel to it when you touch it. Not really, like, it doesn't leave a residue on your hands. It just feels really silky smooth. And I really like soy. I just think the flame is nicer when you have a soy candle. And I do use, I don't know if I've already mentioned this, these are waxed ones, so they stand to attention. They're already waxed. You can buy these from Hobbycraft as well, and so you can actually make your own wicks. You can use cotton, tie a few of them together, braided, dip them in some wax, put them and secure them at the bottom. And even if you don't want to buy these, what you can do is get a bit of cotton thread, make sure it's like a non-flammable, it's like plain cotton. Get 3 pieces, tie them and braid them to make the thickness. If that doesn't make the thickness, add more, plate more to it. And put a tiny drop of wax in the bottom of your container, stick your wick to it, hold it up, and then pour your wax in. So you may not even have to purchase these. I have made candles previously with literally not spending a penny out at all. Now, as I was saying with the other candles as well, while I'm just waiting for that one to sort of cool down a little bit so we can see, you can get these type candles and just make sure that you cut the wick out and chop chunks of these candles. It's going to get a little bit messy. Maybe put a bag out or something and a nice plate or chopping board and cut big chunks of this off, and you could put this and melt these candles. So even if you don't want to spend £11, you want to make just one candle, it's more for a crafting idea. Or loads of people have candles that they've got that are just run out of wax. This had the tiniest bit of wax that just would not burn in the bottom, and I scraped that out, and that is in my little wax collection that I melt up, and you save it and you can sort of just remake new candles with it if you really want to be really, really savvy. So now we're going to do another candle. Now this is staying really hot and liquidized because I'm leaving it on top of the saucepan, so you will see you have loads of time. You don't have to literally be on the hob the whole time and then make separate batches. You can make a few batches and take your time with this. So the next candle I'm going to make is, I don't know if there's enough wax in there to do, because I'm planning on to do this one at first. I will do this one. No, I'm not going to do that one. Yeah, I will do that one, but it won't fill it up. I'm going to have to go and burn some more wax. So it won't actually be on the camera, but I'll just show you again. So this is when, no, yeah, just about fits. So this one that you get with the wicks, this is kind of cool because this holds the wick up. It's like a little metal thing, and you just put it on the top. Oh, but then it's not as big, so I think more to use it on like a smaller, slightly smaller. I think that's the largest size it will go. Gonna get one of my stickers. I'm just a babbler today. I'm just talking. I've had a packet of prawn cocktail crisps, and I'm sure there's like some kind of like special flavouring that makes me go mad or something. I've got to try and make sure this is centre, otherwise the wax won't burn evenly. It's kind of hard to get my little chubby hands in the bottom of the pot and make it central. And now I've got to peel it off, which is making it even more difficult. Right, so at this point you can put pumpkin scent. You could put like autumn scents in this. Just press that down nice and firm. And you'll be left with your little candle wick, kind of central. Put it in, hold your wick, and it is as simple as pouring nice and slow, making sure that you don't get nothing on the edge. You can kind of see it filling up just like a liquid. And it doesn't matter if you do this in separate goes. So half of this is filled up. Now, if I hadn't done the other candle, I would have had enough wax in there. You can buy a bigger burner pot. So when I use this glass, I get a hell of a lot more wax in there. But I was trying to be professional. So now what will happen with that is that will start to slightly cool down and it's halfway filled. And what then you can do is you can then, sorry, 1 second. I'm gonna just put the bamboo sticks on to keep it in case it falls in. And then what you can do is it doesn't matter if it cools and then pour the next layer on. Sometimes I found it a little bit easier with that big candle that I made to actually do it like that. So I found it a lot easier. Sorry, my wick's on the loose. There we go. You little silly boy, what are you doing? I'm gonna poke that down. So this is very trial and error for me. I had people go, can you show us how you do it? And not that there was much point because I'm not, that's it. We've done it, we've conquered it. We're William the Conqueror. No, we've not conquered it. Where are you going? He's literally like, the sticker got really hot and he's like, we want to get off the sticker mat. Don't push us down. It's like lost its stick, which never happens. But it's fine because everything happens when you're doing something on camera. I find that. Things that will go perfect in normal everyday. I'm going to try my luck with this, you know. I think this is the best option of me keeping this still. So I've got to just try and maybe even sellotape that down. Let's hold you straight. And it clicks in. Ah, you're going to stay still for Rosie. Right, we've done it. We've done it. We don't need to sit in there for 20 minutes. Don't plop in. It's resting on the top. That's halfway filled. And what you could even do is if you would like and you want to fill that up halfway, you could do different colours. Let that set to go one colour and then get your other colours ready, boiling. Wait for that to be completely set and pour it in really quickly because sometimes the heat, if you do it on one spot, it starts to melt the wax below. So I would say move quickly and move around to get it done. Now this one is slowly but surely, yeah, taking shape. So we're getting really waxy. It's kind of staying up on its own now. I'm going to press that down. It does go quite quickly the more shallow you do it. What I find with these little wax wigs is you'll get like a little bobble around them and I straighten them up, and then what I do is with a last tiny little bit of wax I will just pour over near the wicks to make sure it's nice and smooth around near the wicks, and it flattens out any of the bobbles or bubbles that you had on the top of it, and they just look really, really cute. And just with a little pair of scissors, cut this down. I would leave them roughly about that long, so maybe like 2 centimetres above the actual candle, between 1 centimetre and 2 centimetres above the candle. And don't ever light the candle too high up near the rim. I would say at least make sure that's about 1 centimetre lower than the rim as well. But once these start to get burnt, these are going to look really, really pretty. You're going to start to smell the orange. It's going to come through. And yeah, that is how easy it is to make candle. I've probably made a much longer video. It should have been about a 5-minute video to show you. But that is how I make my candles. So don't forget to subscribe if you like my channel, and you also press the notification bell if you do like watching my videos and you want to see when they're coming through. I'm going to be doing a Poundland haul tomorrow, and then the day after, on Thursday, I'm going to be taking my Poundland items that I've bought as gifts, and I want to show you how I'm going to sort of like jazz them up a bit to make them look really expensive, so we can get like a £2 gift and make it look like a £20 gift. So you don't have to have lots of money to give nice expensive gifts. We can do that on a real cheap, and I'm using Poundland because I could go to a charity shop and do a thrifting, but you're not guaranteed in your charity shops to get the exact same items. Poundland is Poundland, so I'm going to go there, use those items. They're going to be available and accessible for everybody that has Poundland or a pound shop. They'll have very similar. And then we're going to do that. So I hope you have a lovely rest of your week. And if you're going to stick around, I've got videos tomorrow, the next day and Friday. And my Friday try on this week is all of my outfits for over Christmas. Everything will be available still to buy from the shops. But I'm not going to a shop and buying stuff. It's all the stuff that I've got ready prepared for Christmas, and I'll be saying like, this is for Christmas Day, this is for Boxing Day, and yeah, I've got some really casual ones and some really dressy ones, so hopefully you'll stick around for that as well. So take care, have a lovely rest of your day, bye!